You are sitting in a room right now. Maybe it's dark, maybe it's crowded, maybe you're surrounded by people, but you have never felt more alone, and you are waiting. You are waiting for the breakthrough. You are waiting for the hand to reach down and pull you out of the mud. You are waiting for the perfect time, the perfect feeling, the perfect person to recognize your worth and say, it's your turn. But I need you to hear something that is going to hurt, something that might shatter that little glass house of hope you've built your suffering inside of. Nobody is coming. Read that again. Feel the weight of it. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your father, not your mother, not the government, not your friends, not a mentor, and not some future version of yourself that magically has it all figured out. The cavalry is not coming over the hill. The sooner you accept this brutal, cold, absolute truth, the sooner you can actually begin your life. Because as long as you are looking out the window waiting for a savior, you are slowly dying in that chair. You are letting the wind take you wherever it wants, drifting like a leaf in a storm, wondering why you always end up in the gutter. We all have this child inside of us. This inner child that is terrified and uncertain. And that child wants a parent. That child wants someone to come in and say, I have the solution. I have the fix. Here is the map. We are wired to love the quick fix, the savior, the hero who swoops in at the last second. But you are not a child anymore. And the world doesn't care about your potential if you aren't doing anything with it. The world is moving on. The sun rises and the sun sets, regardless of your depression, regardless of your broken heart, regardless of your empty bank account. It is indifferent. And that indifference is either your prison or your ultimate freedom. There is a psychological concept called the locus of control. It was developed years ago, but it defines your entire existence right now. You either have an external locus of control, where you believe life happens to you, that you are a victim of the economy, your boss, your genetics, your upbringing, or you have an internal locus of control. The people with the internal locus, they are the dangerous ones. They are the ones who believe that no matter what the storm looks like, they hold the steering wheel. They believe that they are the architects of their own destruction or their own resurrection. Which one are you? Because if you are sitting there blaming the system, blaming your ex, blaming the trauma you went through 10 years ago, you are handing your power away. You are essentially saying, I am powerless to change my situation until the world changes first. And I have news for you. The world isn't going to change for you. The world is rough. It's hard. It's going to knock you down and step on your neck. And if you stay down there waiting for an apology, you will rot. There was an experiment done years ago, a cruel one, but it teaches us everything we need to know about why you are stuck. They took dogs and put them in a box where they were shocked and they had no way to escape. They learned that nothing they did mattered. Later, they put those same dogs in a box where all they had to do was jump over a small barrier to escape the shock, but they didn't jump. They sat there and took the pain. They whined, they cried, but they didn't move. Why? Because they had learned helplessness. They believed they had no control, so they stopped trying to find a way out. Are you the dog in the box? The barrier is low, the exit is right there. But you've convinced yourself that you are trapped. You've convinced yourself that because you failed once, or because you were hurt before, that there is no point in fighting back. That is the victim mentality. And it is a silent killer of your growth. It's a virus. It convinces you that you are the target of the universe, that you are the only one suffering, that your pain is special. It's not. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. You are not unique in your suffering. You are only unique in your response to it. You have to break that cycle. You have to realize that you are the only person who can build the life you want. You are the only one who can drag yourself out of bed when it's cold and dark and you don't feel like it. Nobody is coming to wake you up. Nobody is coming to smack the junk food out of your hand. Nobody is coming to write that business plan. It is all on you. And that reality, that pressure, that is where diamonds are made. Stop looking for the path of least resistance. Stop looking for the hack. Everyone wants the hack. They want the shortcut. They want the 6-minute abs. But there is no hack. There is only the work. There is only the unseen work. The work you do when no one is watching. The work you do in the dark. You have to become obsessed with your own evolution. Motivation? Forget motivation. Motivation is a garbage. Motivation is a feeling. And feelings are fickle. They come and go like the wind. Some days you wake up feeling like a lion. And some days you wake up feeling like a mouse. If you only work when you feel like it, you will never build anything. You need discipline. You need obsession. You need to look at your life and say, I refuse to stay here. There is a version of you that you haven't met yet. A version that is sharper, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. But you will never meet that person if you keep waiting for permission to change. You don't need permission. You don't need a degree. You don't need a pat on the back. You need to look in the mirror and declare war on your old self. This is a war. It is a war for your mind. It is a war for your future. And the enemy is the person you see in the mirror every morning. That is your competition. Stop looking left and right at what everyone else is doing. Stop scrolling through social media, comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. Comparison is the thief of joy, but more importantly, it is the killer of progress. You are not running their race, you are running yours. When you start to take extreme ownership of your life, and I mean extreme ownership, where you take responsibility for everything, even the things that aren't your fault, something magical happens. You stop being a passenger. You become the captain. If it rains, it's on you to have an umbrella. If the team fails, it's on you for not leading them. If you get fired, it's on you for not being undeniable. This sounds heavy. I know. It sounds unfair. But it is the most liberating thing you will ever do. Because if you are responsible for the mess, you are also the only one capable of cleaning it up. You have to call us your mind. You have to build a fortress inside your head that the world cannot touch. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, the man who ruled the known world, said that the mind can be an impregnable fortress. He said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Think about that power. You can revoke the power of the world to hurt you. You can look at rejection, you can look at failure, you can look at the haters, and you can say, this does not own me. You can use those bricks they throw at you to build your foundation. But you have to stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to get everyone to understand your journey. They won't understand. They aren't you. When you try to explain your dreams to small-minded people, you are looking for validation. You are looking for them to say, it's okay, you can do it. Stop it. Kill the need for approval. You don't need them to clap for you. In fact, if you are truly on the path to greatness, you are going to be lonely. The path of the exceptional person is one of exception, which means you are not with the crowd. You are going to lose friends. You are going to be misunderstood. People will call you obsessed. They will call you intense. They will say you've changed. Good. You are supposed to change. You are not a rock. You are a human being designed for growth. If you are the same person you were a year ago, you are not living, you are existing. You have to learn to be alone. You have to learn to sit in that dark room, in that dungeon of your mind, and figure out who you actually are. Not who your parents wanted you to be. Not who society told you to be. Who are you? What is your purpose? And don't tell me you don't have time. Don't tell me you're too tired. Those are lies. Those are excuses you tell yourself to feel better about giving up. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the most dangerous word in the English language. Tomorrow is the graveyard of dreams. There is no tomorrow. There is only now. There is only this decision. You have to create micro-evidence of your own success. You don't build confidence by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You build confidence by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and you do it, that's a brick in the wall of your character. When you say you're going to do the extra rep and you do it, that's another brick. Eventually, you build a wall so high that self-doubt can't climb over it. But if you hit snooze, if you skip the gym, if you cheat on your diet, you are teaching your brain that you are a liar. You are eroding your own soul. You are telling yourself, I am not someone who can be trusted. And if you can't trust yourself, who can you trust? Focus on yourself. This isn't selfishness, it's necessity. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to build yourself into a machine, a weapon of will. You have to treat your body like it's the only vehicle you will ever get, because it is. You have to treat your mind like it's the most valuable asset you own, because it is. There was a study done called the scar experiment. Psychologists painted a fake scar on people's faces and told them to go into an interview. They wanted to see how people treated them differently because of the scar. But right before they walked in, the makeup artist secretly removed the scar. The participants went into the interview thinking they were disfigured, thinking they were marked. And guess what? They came back and reported that everyone was rude to them, everyone stared at their scar, everyone treated them poorly, but there was no scar. The scar was in their mind. They projected their own insecurity, their own victimhood onto the world, and the world reflected it back. What phantom scars are you carrying? What stories are you telling yourself about why you can't succeed? I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the connections. Those are scars you painted on yourself. Wipe them off. You have to get to a place where you are anti-fragile, not just resilient. Resilient means you take a hit and stay the same. Anti-fragile means you take a hit and get better. You get stronger. The wind that extinguishes a candle energizes a fire. Be the fire. When chaos hits, when tragedy strikes, don't just survive it, use it. This is the alchemy of greatness. Taking the lead, taking the pain, taking the trauma, and turning it into fuel. David Goggins talks about the cookie jar, or the mental Rolodex. You take all those times people doubted you, all those times you failed, and you put them in the furnace. You burn them for energy. You don't let them weigh you down. You let them push you forward, but you have to start. You have to start right now. You can't wait for the stars to align. You can't wait for the fear to go away. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It is acting in spite of it. You have to do it scared. You have to do it tired. You have to do it alone. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out and you are lying in your bed, you are the only one who knows if you gave 100% or if you left something on the table. You can lie to the world. You can lie to Instagram. You can lie to your boss. But you cannot lie to the man in the mirror. So I'm asking you, are you going to stay a child waiting for a savior who doesn't exist? Or are you going to become the hero of your own movie? Are you going to keep making excuses, or are you going to start making changes? The clock is ticking. Every second that goes by is a second you never get back. You are dying. We are all dying. The question is, are you really living? Or are you just slowly decaying, waiting for the end? Get up. Look around. No one is coming. It's just you. And that is the best news you could possibly hear. Because if it's up to you, then there is no limit to how high you can fly. If it's up to you, then you can change the trajectory of your entire bloodline starting today. But you have to let go of the entitlement. You have to let go of the idea that life owes you something. Life owes you nothing. Life gave you a blank page and a pen. Stop asking someone else to write your story. Write it yourself, and write a story worth reading. It starts with the small things. It starts with your environment. Look at your room. Is it a mess? Clean it. Look at your phone. Are you addicted to scrolling? Put it down. Look at your friends. Are they pushing you up or pulling you down? You cannot grow in a toxic environment. You have to prune the dead leaves. You have to cut off the anchors. It will hurt. You will miss them. But you cannot carry dead weight to the top of the mountain. You have to accept that this journey is going to hurt. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck where you do not belong. And once you cut those anchors, once you step away from the crowd that was keeping you comfortable and keeping you small, you are going to face a new demon, It is a demon that terrifies most people more than failure, more than pain, and more than rejection. You are going to face the demon of loneliness. There is a period in every exceptional journey where you become a stranger to your old life, but you have not yet arrived at your new one. You are in the void. The old friends don't get you. They think you're arrogant, or they think you've changed, or they mock you for trying to be something you're not. And the new friends, the winners, the people operating at the level you want to reach, you haven't met them yet. You aren't in their room yet. So you walk alone. And this is where most people break. They feel the cold wind of isolation, and they run back to the warmth of mediocrity. They run back to the bar, back to the gossip, back to the people who help them waste time, because the silence of their own company is too loud to bear. But you must understand that this loneliness is not a curse. It is a filter. The path of the exceptional person is one of exception, which literally means you are not with the majority. If everyone understands what you are doing, if everyone is cheering you on from day one, you are likely not doing anything transformative. You are doing what is safe. You are doing what is expected. Greatness is never expected. It is forged in the shadows where no one is watching. You have to learn to love the shadow. David Goggins talks about the dungeon of the mind. We all have one. It's that place where your deepest insecurities, your traumas, and your fears live. Most people spend their entire lives trying to renovate the living room so the neighbors think they're happy, while the dungeon in the basement is rotting away the foundation. You have to go down there. You have to sit in that darkness. You have to look at the things that broke you and realize that no one is coming to fix them. You are the architect of your own repair. This is what it means to be anti-fragile. It is a step beyond resilience. Resilience is a rock. The waves hit it and it survives. It stays the same, but you are not a rock. You are a living fire. Antifragility means you are something that benefits from shocks, from volatility, from stress. The wind extinguishes a candle, but it energizes a fire. You must be the fire. When the chaos hits, when the rejection hits, when the failure hits, you don't just endure it, you use it. You feed on it. You get better because of it. Think about the systems in nature that survive. Evolution, immune systems, muscles, they all need stress to grow. If you protect a child from every germ, their immune system stays weak. If you protect your mind from every difficulty, your character stays weak. You have been wishing for an easier life, but an easier life would make you fragile. You should be praying for a stronger back, not a lighter load. You should be looking at the wreckage of your past not as a tragedy, but as a training ground. You have to stop optimizing your life for comfort today and start playing the long game. The short game is easy. The short game is buying the expensive car to impress people you don't like. The short game is hitting snooze. The short game is eating the junk food because it tastes good for 30 seconds. But the long game requires you to look like an idiot in the short term, to look like a genius in the long term. It requires you to say no when everyone else is saying yes. It requires you to work in silence for years while people ask, why are you doing this? Why are you so obsessed? And let's talk about that word, obsession. Society tells you to be balanced. They tell you to take it easy, to not burn out, to be well-rounded. But look at the people who actually change the world. Look at the people who achieve the impossible. They are not balanced. They are obsessed. Motivation is a lie. Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes with the weather. If you only work when you are motivated, you will only work on sunny days. But life is mostly storms. Obsession is different. Obsession doesn't care if you're tired. Obsession doesn't care if it's a holiday. Obsession is a state of being where the goal is so deeply woven into your identity that stopping is not an option. When you are obsessed, you don't need a cheerleader. You don't need a pep talk. The fire is burning inside you, and it consumes every excuse you try to throw at it. You have to reach a point where you are so laser focused on your own growth that the distractions of the world just burn up in your atmosphere before they can even touch you. People will call you intense. They will say you are doing too much good. Let them talk. They are watching the movie, you are making it. They are critics. You are the gladiator. And the critic never counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. You have to stop seeking the approval of people who are terrified of their own potential. Why would you ask for directions from someone who has never left their front porch? This brings us to a concept that will change the way you lead your life. Extreme ownership. It is a principle used by the highest performing military units in the world, but it applies to your life right now. It means you take responsibility for everything. Everything. If you are late because of traffic, it's not the traffic's fault. It's your fault for not leaving earlier. If your team fails, it's not their fault. It's your fault for not leading them clearly. If you are misunderstood, it is your fault for not communicating better. I know what you're thinking. That's not fair. Some things aren't my fault. You are right. It's not fair. But fairness is a concept for children. The world is not fair. And as long as you are clinging to "it's not my fault," you are clinging to victimhood. When you blame the economy or the government or your parents, you are admitting that they have power over you. You are admitting that you are a passenger in your own life. But the moment you say, "This is on me," you take the power back. Because if it's your fault, then you can fix it. If you created the mess, you can clean it up. Extreme ownership is the ultimate freedom because it removes the shackles of dependency. You stop waiting for the cavalry because you realize you are the cavalry. You stop looking for a savior because you look in the mirror and see the only person who can save you. And when you take ownership, you stop explaining yourself. Have you noticed that the most powerful people in a room are often the quietest? They don't scramble to justify their decisions. They don't offer long-winded excuses for why they are doing what they are doing. They simply act. Confidence, dangerous confidence, is comfortable with silence. It doesn't need to fill the air with words to prove its worth. Stop telling people your plans. Stop telling them what you're going to do. Show them. Let the results do the talking. The oak tree doesn't make a sound as it grows, but when it falls, the whole forest hears it. Be the oak. Grow in silence. Let your roots go deep into the dark earth where no one can see, so that when the storm comes, you don't even sway. You need to build a fortress in your mind. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, a man who could have had anything, who could have lived in absolute luxury, wrote notes to himself in his tent on the war front. He reminded himself that the peace of his life depended on the quality of his thoughts. He knew that the world would throw insults, ingratitude, and chaos at him every single day. He said, "Today I shall have to do with an idle, curious man, with an unthankful man, a railer, a crafty, false, or an envious man." He expected it. He didn't get angry about it. He accepted it as the nature of the world. You get angry because you have false expectations. You expect the world to be nice. You expect the path to be easy. You expect people to be grateful. Stop it. Expect the difficulty. Expect the betrayal. Expect the fatigue. When you expect the hit, you can brace for it. You can absorb it. If you walk around with your guard down hoping for a hug, life is going to knock your teeth out. You have to decide right now who you are, not who you want to be. Someday is a lie. Someday is the graveyard of dreams. Who are you right now? Are you a person of your word? Do you respect yourself? You cannot have confidence without self-respect. And you cannot have self-respect if you keep breaking promises to yourself. Every time you say you're going to wake up early and you hit snooze, you are voting for the weaker version of yourself. Every time you say you're going to eat clean and you grab the donut, you are voting for the victim. Every time you say you're going to do the work and you scroll on your phone, you are proving to yourself that you are a liar. And you know it. Deep down, in that quiet place before you fall asleep, you know you left greatness on the table. You have to start stacking the small wins. You want the big victory? You want the championship belt? You want the millions? It starts with making your bed It starts with doing the dishes. It starts with the tiny, invisible disciplines that no one sees. Momentum is built in inches, not miles. You push the heavy wheel 1 inch, then another, and it's grueling. But eventually, it starts to turn. And once it turns, the momentum takes over. But you have to push through that static friction at the start. You have to learn to detach from the outcome. This sounds contradictory, I know. You want the goal, but you must detach from the result. If you are only doing the work for the applause, you are a slave to the audience. If you are only doing it for the money, you are a slave to the market. You must fall in love with the process. You must fall in love with the grind itself. The warrior loves the battle, not just the victory. The artist loves the painting, not just the gallery opening. When you detach from the outcome, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Because if you win, great. If you lose, you learn, and you go back to work. Neither result shakes your foundation. You are not fragile. You are not defined by a scoreboard. You are defined by your effort, by your discipline, by your refusal to yield. There is a version of you that is capable of things you cannot even imagine right now. But that version is locked behind a door of pain. There is no key. You have to kick the door down. You have to be willing to suffer to get to the other side. David Goggins asks, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? The ghosts of the ideas you never acted on? The ghosts of the talent you never used? Standing around your deathbed, angry, disappointed, saying, we came to you and you could have given us life, but now we have to die with you. Don't let your potential die with you. Don't let your dreams become ghosts that haunt you in your final moments. You have to understand that no one owes you anything. The world doesn't owe you a living. It doesn't owe you happiness. It doesn't owe you a fair shake. You are here. You are alive. And you have a mind. That is all you get. The rest is up to you. You have to be the one to look at the empty page and write the story. Stop waiting for the right time. The stars will never align. The traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time. You have to go when it's red. You have to go when it's raining. You have to go when you are terrified. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the judgment that something else is more important than fear. What is more important than your fear? Is it your family? Is it your legacy? Is it the simple, burning need to see how far you can actually go? Find that thing, hold on to it, and use it to drag yourself through the mud when you want to quit, because you will want to quit. There will be days when the bed is too warm, the world is too cold, and the voice in your head says, just take a day off. No one will know. That is the most dangerous voice you will ever hear. That is the voice of mediocrity trying to seduce you back into the herd. You have to kill that voice. You have to strangle it with discipline. You are not here to be average. You are not here to pay bills and die. You are here to become something. You are here to carve your name into the fabric of reality. But you can't do that if you are soft. You can't do that if you are fragile. You have to harden your mind. You have to call us your soul. Think about the sheer statistical miracle of your existence. Out of billions of years, out of infinite possibilities, you are here. Right now, you have this moment, and you are wasting it, waiting for someone to give you permission to be great. You are wasting it, worrying about what people think, people who don't even know who they are. Look at the timeline. It is long, and your life is a microscopic blip on it. In 100 years, no one will remember your mistakes. No one will remember your embarrassments. No one will remember that you tried and failed. But you are here now. And this experience, this brief flashing spark of consciousness is yours to command. Do not let it slip through your fingers like sand. You have to become the master of your own mind. The mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. If you let it run on autopilot, it will drive you into the ditch of anxiety and fear. You have to grab the wheel. You have to tell your brain where to go. You have to feed it the right fuel. If you feed it garbage, negative news, gossip, comparison, it will produce garbage thoughts. Feed it strength, feed it wisdom, feed it the truth that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Remember the concept of the locus of control. People with an internal locus of control believe they shape their own destiny. They are happier, they are more successful, they are healthier. Why? Because they don't wait, they act. They don't hope, they plan. They don't wish, they execute. You need to cultivate that internal locus. Every time you make a choice, remind yourself, I chose this. Even if the situation is bad, you choose how to respond. You choose your attitude. You choose your next step. That is power. That is the only power that matters. And let's talk about the people around you again. You might have to leave them behind, yes, but you also have to be careful about who you let in. Gossip, negativity, complaining. These are contagious diseases. If you hang around 5 losers, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 complainers, you will be the 6th. But if you hang around 5 people who are relentlessly chasing their potential, who are taking extreme ownership, who are refusing to settle, you will be the 6th. You might not have those people in your life right now. That's okay. You can find them in books. You can find them in history. You can find them in the voices of the greats who left a blueprint for you. Mentors don't have to be alive to teach you. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, they are waiting for you in the library. They are waiting to teach you how to stand tall when the world is falling apart. But you have to do the reading. You have to do the studying. No one can learn for you. No one can do the push-ups for you. You can hire a trainer, but you have to lift the weight. You can hire a coach, but you have to run the miles. The work is non-negotiable, and the work is lonely. I will say it again because you need to hear it. The work is lonely. The early mornings are lonely. The late nights are lonely. The sacrifices are lonely. But in that loneliness, you find yourself. You strip away the masks you wear for society. You strip away the need for validation. You are left with the raw material of your soul. And that is where you build. You build a reputation with yourself. That is the only reputation that matters. Can you trust you? When you say you will do something, do you do it? If the answer is no, then no amount of external success will fill that void. You will always feel like a fraud. But if the answer is yes, if you know that your word is iron, then you can walk into any room, face any challenge, and know that you will be okay, because you have your own back. Stop looking for the hack. Stop looking for the shortcut. There is no elevator to the top. You have to take the stairs, and the stairs are steep, and they are slippery, and people are going to be throwing rocks at you on the way up. Climb anyway. Climb because the alternative is to stay at the bottom and wonder what if. What if is a poison. What if I had tried? What if I had pushed harder? What if I hadn't given up? Do not let those words be your epitaph. You have to get to a place where you react to nothing, where the external world cannot shake your internal world. Someone insults you? Silence. Someone doubts you? Silence. Life knocks you down? Silence. You just get back up? You don't complain? You don't explain? You just work? This is the Stoic ideal. To be like the rocky promontory against which the waves constantly break. It stands firm, and eventually the fury of the water sinks to rest around it. Be the rock. Let the chaos crash against you and break. Do not let it move you. You are building a legacy, not a legacy of statues or money, but a legacy of character, a legacy of a life fully lived, a life where you squeezed every ounce of potential out of your soul, a life where you didn't leave anything in the tank. And to do that, you have to realize that the cavalry isn't coming, the rescue boat isn't coming, the lottery ticket isn't coming, it's just you. And that is terrifying. I know it is terrifying to realize that you are the only one responsible for your happiness and your success. But it is also the most liberating truth you will ever hear. Because if it's up to you, then there is no ceiling. If it's up to you, then no one can stop you. If it's up to you, then you can start right now. Not tomorrow, right now. The moment you finish listening to this, you have a choice. You can go back to the distractions. You can go back to the scrolling. You can go back to waiting, or you can stand up. You can look at your life and say, enough. You can draw a line in the sand and say, past this point, I do not retreat. Past this point, I do not make excuses. Past this point, I am in charge. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. Don't wait for the feeling. The feeling might never come. Act. Move. Momentum comes from movement, not the other way around. You don't think your way into right action. You act your way into right thinking. Take the first step, and then the next, and then the next. Do not look at the summit. It is too far. Look at the ground in front of your feet. Conquer that inch, then the next inch. That is how mountains are climbed. You are capable of more than you know. You have a reservoir of strength inside you that you have never tapped because you have never pushed yourself far enough to need it. Go there. Go to the dark place. Go to the pain. That is where the treasure is buried. No one is coming to save you. Save yourself. You are standing on the precipice of the rest of your life, and you are hesitating. You are hesitating because you have bought into the most dangerous lie ever sold to the human race, the lie of tomorrow. You tell yourself you will start when you feel ready, when the bank account looks better, when the kids are older, when the weather changes. But let me tell you something that should wake you up from this coma. Tomorrow is a mirage. It is a comfortable illusion that lets you avoid the pain of responsibility today. Tomorrow is the graveyard of potential. It is where dreams go to die because you were too scared to birth them in the violent, messy, imperfect present. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the known world and had every luxury at his fingertips, reminded himself daily, not as though thou hadst thousands of years to live. Death hangs over thee, whilst yet thou livest, whilst thou mayest be good. The clock is not just ticking, it is subtracting. Every second you spend debating whether to start is a second you will never, ever get back. You are dying. That isn't depressing. It is the fuel you need to stop acting like you have an infinite amount of time to waste on things that do not matter. You have to stop living your life as a negotiation. You are negotiating with your alarm clock, negotiating with your diet, negotiating with your work ethic. You say, I'll do it later. But later is a land filled with people who are filled with regret. Winners make time, losers make excuses. It is that black and white. If you want to change your trajectory, you have to realize that the perfect moment does not exist. Conditions will never be ideal. You have to strike when the iron is cold and beat it until it becomes hot. To do this, you must master the 4 pillars of your existence: your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. If you cannot control these, they will control you. Let's talk about your mouth first. The words you speak are not just describing your reality. They are creating it. When you walk around saying, I'm so tired, I'm so broke, I can't catch a break, you are programming your subconscious to look for evidence that supports that weakness. You are planting seeds of defeat in your own garden. Stop it. Speak life. Speak power. Even if you don't feel it yet, speak it until you believe it. Then there is your mood. Most people are slaves to how they feel. They wake up on the wrong side of the bed and let a fleeting emotion dictate 24 hours of their existence. You have to separate your performance from your feelings. The greatest athletes, the greatest leaders, the greatest thinkers, they don't do it because they feel like it. They do it because they are disciplined. Feelings are fickle. They come and go like the weather. Discipline is the anchor. You have to reach a point where your mood is irrelevant to your output. You show up, you do the work, you get the job done, whether you are sad, angry, heartbroken, or ecstatic. And your mind is a battlefield. If you don't stand guard at the door of your mind, the world will dump its trash in there. Fear, doubt, insecurity, the news, social media drama. It's all garbage designed to keep you small. You have to curate your thoughts like you are curating a museum. Marcus Aurelius said that the things outside of you cannot touch your soul. It is only your opinion of them that hurts you. You have the power to revoke that opinion at any moment. Then there is money. Stop treating it like a mystery or a master. It is a tool. If you don't control it, it will shackle you. You cannot be free if you are drowning in debt. and bad decisions because you were trying to impress people who don't care about you. Control your resources so they can fuel your mission, not hinder it. When you master these things, you stop reacting to the world and you start leading your life. Most people live in reaction mode. Someone cuts them off in traffic. They get angry. Their boss criticizes them. They get defensive. The economy dips. They panic. That is a weak existence. True power, dangerous confidence comes when you react to nothing. When you are so solid, so grounded in who you are and what you are building, that the chaos of the world breaks against you like waves against a promontory, and you stand firm. This brings us to a concept that will separate you from 99% of the population: antifragility. It's not just about being resilient. Resilience is like a rock. It takes a hit and stays the same. You want to be anti-fragile. You want to be like a fire. When the wind blows on a candle, it goes out. But when the wind blows on a fire, it gets bigger. You need to become the system that thrives on disorder, stress, and volatility. When life hits you, when you fail, when you get rejected, you don't just bounce back, you come back stronger, smarter, and sharper. You use the trauma as fuel. You use the hate as energy. You have to learn to detach from the outcome. This sounds contradictory, I know. You want the win, but you cannot be enslaved by the need for it. If your self-worth is tied to whether you get the promotion, whether you get the girl, whether you get the applause, you are a puppet. You have to fall in love with the process, the grind, the unseen work, the hours in the dark when no one is clapping. That is where the character is built. If you only work when there is a reward in sight, you will quit when the fog rolls in, and the fog always rolls in. We live in a world that is obsessed with hacks and shortcuts. Everyone wants the result without the sacrifice. But let me tell you the truth that the commercials won't tell you. The obstacle is the way. The struggle is the reward. You are built to walk uphill. If you had everything handed to you, if you were born at the finish line, you would be weak. You would have no context for your strength. You need the resistance. You need the heavy weight to tear the muscle fibers so they can grow back stronger. So stop praying for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. You must kill the need for approval. This is the chain that binds so many of you. You are terrified of being weird, of being an outcast, of being misunderstood. But look at history. Every single person who changed the world was called crazy before they were called a genius. If you are normal, if you fit in, if everyone understands what you are doing, you are average. And average is a failing formula. You have to be willing to walk alone. You have to be willing to be the exception. There is a concept called the locus of control. People with an external locus believe life happens to them. They are victims of fate, luck, or powerful others. They are the dogs in the experiment who stop trying to escape the shock even when the exit is open because they have learned helplessness. Do not be that dog. You must cultivate an internal locus of control. You must believe deeply and truly that you are the architect of your own destiny. Even if you cannot control the event, you control your response. And in that response lies your freedom. Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your dreams to people who have given up on theirs. When you over-explain, you are subliminally asking for permission. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need permission to change your life. Your results will do the talking. The lion does not have to tell you it is a lion. You know when it walks into the room, be the lion. And you have to do this now, because there is a meeting waiting for you at the end of your life. It is a meeting you cannot avoid. Imagine you are on your deathbed. You are taking your final breaths, and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the ideas you never acted on, the ghosts of the talents you never used, the ghosts of the potential you never fulfilled. They are standing there angry, disappointed, and weeping. They say, "We came to you, only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever." Do not let that be your ending. Do not let your potential die in the graveyard of your excuses. You have to realize that you are your own rescue team. There is no boat coming. There is no helicopter. It is just you, the water, and your arms. So swim. Swim like your life depends on it, because it does. The world doesn't care about your potential. It pays for your execution. It doesn't care about your story of hardship. It cares about how you overcame it. You have to become obsessed. Not just interested, not just motivated, obsessed. Obsession is the only thing that will carry you through the days when you are tired, when you are hurting, when you are lonely. Obsession cuts through the noise. It doesn't need a cheerleader. It wakes up early. It stays late. It gets the job done. Look at your hands. Look at them. These are the only hands that can build your future. Stop looking for a handout and start using the hands you were given. You are capable of things you haven't even allowed yourself to imagine yet. But you are blocking your own blessings by waiting for a savior who isn't coming. This is your life. It is not a dress rehearsal. You don't get a do-over. This is it. The curtain is up. The lights are on. What are you going to do? Are you going to play the victim? Are you going to play the extra in your own movie? Or are you going to step into the role you were born to play? The buck stops with you. The responsibility is yours. The pain is yours. But the glory will be yours too. But you have to take it. It will not be given. So I challenge you today, not tomorrow, today. Draw a line in the sand. Commit to the process. Embrace the suck. Welcome the pain. Use the doubt. Burn the ships. There is no retreat. There is only forward. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to do the work for you. It's all on you. And that is the most beautiful, liberating, powerful truth you will ever know. Because if it's on you, that means you can do it. Now go get it.